So here we are in the lobby of La Belle Esplanade. Number one, Auditorium. It's New Orleans Auditorium. So it is a real museum. It has its own website, nolaauditorium.com. And check it out. World's largest collection of voodoo cutlery, all sorts of things to look at while you're here. And new assistant. So this is, what's
Hi.
your name? What's your name?
My name's Yana.
Oh, thank you.
I am here. You can't see me, but I am here.
That's all right. So, you know the format if you've watched these videos before. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Yana has written down some questions in a book, which is pretty official. And she's going to ask me cold, and I'm going to talk. I'm going to answer that question. So, ready? Hit me.
All right. So, as someone who's lived here for 5 years,
You.
Yes. Making questions about New Orleans is, different than someone who's just rolling into town or someone who's been there entire life.
You know.
So
So
I guess
what?
take it with that perspective.
Don't worry about it.
All right. So the first thing that I wrote down, I said, New Orleans is known for its exuberant amounts of drinking, partying, in general, just funny business.
Yeah.
So I want to know, what do you think is, alternatively, what's one of the most peaceful places in the city?
Wow.
Where do you go to maybe not escape this?
No, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Tell me.
So, every day, I go up to City Park, okay? The City Park, at the end of Esplanade Avenue, right? Just a 20-minute walk from our house here. And City Park is enormous. So, it's bigger than Central Park in New York City. And most people, they just go to the beginning there where the art museum is and the sculpture garden and whatnot. And they don't go up to the part towards the lake. So originally there was 3 golf courses up there. Right now there's 2, and there's the abandoned golf course. And so I like to go up to the abandoned golf course because usually there's nobody there. And some guys playing frisbee golf there now, which is fine, they're no harm. But there's parts of that abandoned golf course where nobody goes, and there's paths that go through it and stuff, and that's pretty cool. But what's nice is you go to the Coterie Forest, is what this other part is called. So you get that roundabout between the abandoned golf course and the professional grade one, the tournament golf course they call it. And you got a roundabout in the middle of City Park, and you go past the roundabout, and that's the Coterie Forest over there. And so it's like it's like an arboretum, a poorly maintained arboretum, but it's nice in there because usually there's nobody there. There's all these paths, and then you go up on this hill, which is artificial hill because there's no hills in New Orleans. You go up on a hill, and they built this big cement slab with a whole map of the city on top. So you don't know about it. No. And it's totally isolated, and you're up there on top of the hill with this map of the city, and you just absorb it. And then you go down and you see the lagoons and whatnot, and you just stroll around. Now, we got the dog, so I take the dog and I take him off the leash. Shh. I take him off the leash because there's nobody up there. And so we just wander around every day for about a half hour, 45 minutes, and it's very, very peaceful. The other place I like to go, also in City Park, because City Park is a gem. I was so blessed to live close to it and to have it in the city. But I always go to the botanical garden. Like once a week I'll go, because there's nobody there.
Right, because everyone else is,
They go to the sculpture garden, right? Because
Yeah.
the sculpture garden's right there, and they've
Right.
heard about it, and it's free. So they do that, and I mean, it's fine. I mean, I went to art school, and I'll tell you, most modern art is a scam. I like to know what I'm looking at when I'm looking at something. So, I mean, sculpture garden is fine, but to me, there's not a lot for me to look at. So I like to go to the botanical garden, which also has sculpture in it, by a guy named Enrique Alvarez. And he was a Mexican guy. He came to New Orleans during the Depression, and he worked for the Works Progress Administration. So he did all the sculptures around City Park during the 30s. And it's all Art Deco. So it's all this Art Deco figurative work. So if you're outside the sculpture garden, you see the statue of the lady holding a cloud and the rain's coming out of the cloud. That's him.
Oh.
And there's all this stuff inside the botanical garden that nobody sees. Nobody knows anything about because nobody goes. So I don't know, it's like $6 to get in, and it's not like it's enormous because it's in New Orleans, so it's all compact. And you turn a corner and say, "Oh, look, here's something totally different." They've got like a Japanese garden in there. They get the train garden, which on the weekends is a model train goes around a scale model. It's not really like the city, but it's got different parts are named after different neighborhoods, and the trains are going around it. And it's very peaceful. It's very nice. They have these hot houses and these two gigantic garfish, prehistoric fish are swimming in there, and they don't move a lot, but they're just in the pool. And on the other side, they have some fish. They say they're related to piranhas, but they don't have sharp teeth. They have teeth like we got. So it's like a mouthful of molars. They're tiny. They're only like that big. The fish, so it's got a little mouth. Mm-hmm. But it's really something to see. It's very nice, and so that is certainly a peaceful place to go, and where there's no drinking. But next door to the botanical garden, it's all one ticket. You can go to all this stuff. Mm-hmm. It's Storyland, and Storyland is like an amusement park for babies. Mm-hmm. So it's all nursery rhymes and stuff. It's statues, a couple slides and whatnot, and fountains. And I like it there. Not that I'm 5 years old, because I'm not, but obviously 10 times 5 years old. But I like to wander around in there. Kids are playing and whatnot. But it's nice to look at all these statues, because all these statues were built by like Blaine Kern or something. So it's all Mardi Gras grade sculpture. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's just nice. And then of course next to that you have the Carousel Gardens amusement park. I don't go to that too often, because I don't need to go on a Ferris wheel and whatnot. However, that said, if you take the train from the Carousel Gardens and it goes all around City Park, that's totally worth it, because it's a lot of fun. And now it's made for children, so it's a tight squeeze, but it's nice to take it, especially in December, because it's a celebration in the Oaks. Mm-hmm. And so you take the train, it goes under all the oak trees with all the light displays and everything. It's pretty cool. So that's a nice, peaceful place, City Park. Audubon Park uptown is nice too, but Audubon Park is a totally different vibe. So, Canal Street's the dividing line, right? Mm-hmm. So you have downtown, which is this side of Canal Street. You have uptown, which is the other side of Canal Street. Every time something has something uptown, there is something equivalent downtown, and vice versa. Okay, so we have City Park. They have Audubon Park. Audubon Park. They also have a golf course, but it's right in the middle of the park, okay? So, and it's right across from Tulane and Loyola University. It's a lot of college students. Nothing wrong with that. It's nice to see America's future. But I don't really like to hang out with a bunch of college students. But anyhow, the golf course is in the middle. So everybody walks a loop around the golf course. As opposed to City Park, you just zigzag, you follow your nose, you follow your inspiration wherever you happen to be. And it's much more structured in Audubon Park uptown. And instead of the amusement park and botanical gardens at Audubon Park, they have the zoo, the Audubon Zoo, which is nice. I don't go there very often either, because I'm not 12.
Well, if you're leaving the Fly, which is
the Fly is so boring.
It's a park.
Do you know why it's called the Fly?
I actually don't know.
Well, that's what I'm here for. So during the World's Fair, they ran a ferry, like a shuttle boat, from the World's Fair, which is where the convention center is now. We're talking about in 1984, up to the Fly. And it wasn't called that then, but the building where this ferry docked was shaped like a fly. They said, not anatomically correct or anything. People are like, it looks like a big fly. Yeah. So that's why they call it the Fly now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, there's nothing there. It's a bunch of soccer fields and whatnot. So, like on Saturday, it's full of kids playing soccer and baseball. Yeah. But otherwise, there's nothing to see unless you want to look at the Mississippi, which is certainly majestic, but
occasionally a tugboat will roll by, and if you wave and you create a lot of
He's probably not looking most of the time.
They'll do a spin for you.
Yeah.
And they'll honk their horn, and they'll do a little yee-wee.
See, that's real excitement.
Which is it's big stuff.
It is. That's right.
It's the small things. But what I was gonna say is, like, when you come from the Fly, you can see. I always get such a kick out of it. You can always see the two giraffes sticking out.
Yeah, that's right.
On your left. So if you
Yeah.
don't want to take a trip to the zoo,
You can just look at the giraffe heads.
And you're like, oh, hello.
You got one right there.
Yeah.
You see that?
Oh yeah.
We're in the auditorium. Why
Yeah,
not?
There you go.
So, yeah, you know what's diagonally across from Audubon Park? That's west we go. And that, like, you go to west we go, and it's like, I mean, a different world. I mean, it's like so far to get here. And then you look across the river, and like, that's Audubon Park right there. That's nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The West Bank, Best Bank, it's too different over there. Though I think I wanted to go there today. As a matter of fact, I wanted to go to Gretna, but I think we've forgotten about that. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. I have time.
You got all the time.
All the time in the world. Not time stands still in Gretna. So I'm going to the German American Museum over there because they have a big exhibit on photographs of Gretna from like 1800s up until about 1920 or something. German immigrants and their houses and whatnot.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, it'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no reason to go to Gretna.
Yeah.
It's pretty. Mel Ott is from Gretna.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ask me about that next video.
Yeah.
All right. How much time we got here?
It looks like we're at 11 minutes.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough. We're
enough?
gonna hold on, not yet. I gotta say
Oh, sorry.
a word from
All
our
right.
sponsor. So you're thinking of coming to New Orleans, talk to the most interesting man in New Orleans. Here he is, right? He's talking to you right now. But La Belle Esplanade, labelleesplanade.com is our website. A very small, tiny, artisanal hotel, 5 suites altogether. Rated the #1 place to stay in New Orleans according to TripAdvisor since April 2014. #2 in the United States, #16 in the world, as I never get tired of saying. So, labelleesplanade.com, thinking about coming to New Orleans, this is real New Orleans right here. And you'll learn about more stuff than getting drunk on Bourbon Street, certainly. So, on that note, have yourselves a great New Orleans day. A votre santé, mes amis. Ciao.